Welcome back to Central Valley Talk, where we celebrate what's good about Fresno, all of California, the whole country. There's so many things going on that seem to be centered right here in our little universe of Fresno. I have a guest who's been on quite a few times as a poet, as a photographer, as a Cowlitz elder. Welcome, please, Richard Iyall. Welcome, Richard.
Thank you, Mike.
What is Cowlitz elder? What is Cowlitz?
Cowlitz, that's a word from the Cowlitz Indian Tribe. The book here, this book that I showed the picture of.
Because I got the cover right here. We'll put it up on the screen.
It was written by a man named Roy I. Wilson, and he had previously been the chairman of the tribe decades ago.
Where is the tribe located now?
It's in Washington, Longview, Washington.
Okay, state of Washington.
Yeah.
It's a large tribe?
Yeah, it's getting close to 5,000 enrolled members now.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Before, Lewis and Clark came up there in 1805, there was supposedly like around 20,000 or more.
20,000.
Yeah.
Just living and being happy on the land and and having their place.
Yeah. So this Roy Wilson, he was the chairman of the tribe, the Cowlitz General Council, and also he was a spiritual leader for the tribe many years ago. And he's been an author. People can look him up, Roy I. Wilson, and he wrote this book, History of the Cowlitz Indian Tribe. And in the book, the very first chapter, in the very first page of the book, the very first paragraph, the very first sentence, he gives the definition of what Cowlitz means. He writes, the word Cowlitz means, quote, the people who seek their medicine spirit.
That's what it means. Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty great name.
Yeah.
Pretty great words there.
So, yeah, our people...
How far does it go back in history?
Oh, it goes back a long time, easily the 1800s. Might mention some 1700s stuff, too. But mostly like the 1800s.
Here's the cover of the book that Richard's talking about, so you can research it yourself. A lot of Cowlitz here in Fresno, or are you it? Are you the only one?
Well, my sister and her daughter live here in town, too.
Okay.
And her daughter has a son, so my sister's grandson lives here, too.
That's nice. Three generations of Cowlitz descendants.
Yeah.
Are you from Washington?
Yeah, I was born in the state of Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you identify as a Cowlitz when you were young, or did you learn about it when you were older?
I have no memory of the word or the name Cowlitz until around my 24th birthday. My mother had divorced my father, and so she moved my two younger sisters and I away from my father, and in 57 moved away from the state of Washington where my father was. And so I was just disconnected from him and that whole side of the family. But then in 1974, my father sent me my tribal card in the mail.
That was a surprise.
Yeah.
You had no idea.
I didn't know I was enrolled in the tribe. He said, you're enrolled in this tribe, the Cowlitz Indian Tribe. And he said, well, I've been, what he was saying was, I paid your dues up until this point, but now you can pay them yourself.
That's how you're on your own, huh?
Yeah.
That's a great story, Richard.
So that was the first time I ever even knew about the name Cowlitz, So I looked into it, and that was 74. And then 5 years later, I went up there from Fresno with a couple of friends, some family friends, and their kids, because the friends were going to move to the state of Washington, and so they wanted me to come along and help them move. And I wanted to get up there to go to my very first Cowlitz General Council meeting. And so I went there and got there in late May so I could attend the first Saturday in June meeting.
Did you feel kind of like you're going home, or do you feel some spiritual camaraderie?
Oh, I did, yeah. Yeah, in fact, when we crossed that Columbia River, I could just feel my ancestors there,
Wow, that is great. That's great. Now, what are we moving to now? We've got a lot of topics going here. These pictures or your binder over there?
Okay, so the idea of Cowlitz, it's seeking our medicine spirit. You know, that's what we do. And medicine, that's in
By the way, we didn't say it on the air. You're the direct descendant of who?
Oh, of the Cowlitz chief Skaniwa.
So your great-great-grandfather or something like that?
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, there's some discrepancy about the birth date of my great-grandfather. His name was Iyall Wahwa, and that's where we got our name from, you know, because, well, he was a high priest in a religion which we called Shaddam, but it was commonly known as the Indian Shaker religion. And so he was a very spiritual person. He was psychic, and he held services at his house and everything. And so his children honored him by taking his first name as their last name.
That's our last name.
Yeah. But there's a question about when he was born. It's said that he was born in 1840, but Skaniwa was killed in 1828. So it was said that he was the son, so something's not right.
Something doesn't line up right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I would guess that maybe he was Iyall Wahwa was born earlier.
A little earlier, yeah.
Yeah. So it, you know, a lot of direction, a lot of things point to him being a direct son of Skaniwa.
That's good. That's great.
So, so I, you know, I've had this DNA in me all my life, you know, and I felt different than so many other people. I was different, you know. I mean, here in California, member of a Washington State tribe, you know, not connected to any of my tribal members, any of my father's side of the family, just being me, and the only male in the family, because my mother was divorced.
Yeah.
And so I was very alone, you know, very being separate from all my ancestry. But it was inside me all the time, waiting to come out.
And you could feel it when you got there. Cross the Columbia River, and you feel like I'm home.
Yeah.
Do you remember living in Washington when you were young?
Oh, yeah.
You were a kid?
Well, I remember, and as a matter of fact, when my parents were still alive, you know, and married, in 1950 actually, the year I was born, we got a sled for Christmas, 1950, and so I was not even a year old yet, and I remember my mother took me on that sled for a long ride.
You can remember that, huh?
Yeah.
And it snowed apparently in Washington.
Oh yes,
something we don't know much about around here.
Yeah, so. It's got snow in the recent times, you know, plenty of snow and cold weather.
Now, are we going to these pictures or going to that binder? What do you want to do here, Richard?
Well, okay, let's go into the pictures now.
Okay.
Okay, so with that idea of having the medicine within me, you know, I've been seeking the medicine spirit for all my life, and just, you know, finding different ways to find it. And just in very recent time, well, going back a few years ago, I found out about a company that had a product that was called the zeolite product. That zeolite is a mineral that comes from lava originally, and then it over millions of years ago, perhaps, it came out of the volcano and then got introduced to the ocean, the salt water, and it got crystallized and became what's called zeolite.
It sounds like something very natural.
It is very natural.
Made in a lab or a chemist or
it's
something
very
like that.
extreme, totally natural from the center of the earth, the core of the earth, you know. So, and it's been through all the heat of the volcano, you know. So it's been purified, and you know, got a lot of bad stuff has been removed from it. However, zeolite has been used for hundreds of years for different ways of cleansing things. You know, it's been used to put around places where there's been radiation, like, you know.
I'll be darned.
Yeah, and it's been used as like a feed for animals, so that it gets inside their stomach and helps prevent things from molding in there.
And all that because, I mean, who knows what happens to elements when they're that superheated? Nobody really knows how hot it is under the ground before it comes out through a volcano or something. So
Right.
it could go through many changes. And are these people with that company?
Yeah, yeah. See, that company that I first found out about it, it was a company that the biochemist that is with the company I'm with now, he was with that previous company.
Mm-hmm.
However, he was just like an employee with them, somebody else was in charge. And over years, our biochemist, his name is Rick Deitch, he was involved with different companies, and he did a whole lot of great work. He even worked with a couple of Nobel Peace Prize winners at Duke University. But being there at Duke under these Nobel Peace Prize winners, he was given, as a biochemist, he was given the challenge to produce things for health, but within the medical field, having, and always having some negative effects to your body.
Right.
But he didn't want to do that. So he got away from Duke University and the Nobel Peace Prize winners so that he could develop his own products that were totally safe and effective. And so this is one thing, this is a current version of what he has now developed, and this is called Avini Health Cell Defender.
Okay.
And it's got that zeolite in it. It's a very special zeolite. It's called cleanup light. That's a variety of zeolite.
Okay. And how do you take it? Is it drops?
Yeah, it's in a colloidal suspension, but so it's got water in it, and so you just mix it around so it just doesn't stay at the bottom. And then what I do, this is one way I've been doing it lately, and then you just take drops.
It drops like a couple a day or a couple of hour?
It's up to the person. It's suggested to take 5 to 10 drops at a time, but it depends on your health and what you want to do with it. If you're already in great health and you just want to maintenance dose, it suggests you take like 10 drops twice a day.
Twice a day.
But if you have health challenges and you want to help your body more, that woman that was in that first picture, her name's Marcy Littlejohn there, she was in extreme health challenges years ago, about 11 years ago. In fact, the medical establishment gave her no more than 8 weeks to live.
Oh, boy.
And she just wasn't going to accept that. And luckily for her, she knew about Rick Deitch, and Rick had the precursor of this, and so she started getting on that at 10 drops every hour. And over time, you see, she's still alive with me. She's still living, and so this saved her life.
Wow. And this is her husband?
Yeah, that's her husband there, too. These pictures were taken in Las Vegas in March of 2023 at the Avini Health National Summit. And so I got to meet, well, actually, I had previously met both of them and this woman here in Fresno. They came to Fresno for an Avini Health event. So that's where I got to meet them. That was in December of 2022, December 3rd, 2022, I joined the company because I just knew that this zeolite stuff, I always had a good feeling about it. And then when this company came along and I met these people, I just had a strong feeling this is really good stuff.
Is this what they're...
That's a woman. She's a distributor. It's at Las Vegas. Her name is Chrissy Calhoun, and she went over to the back of the room where it was lit like this with the Avini sign up and the blue lights, and she had her friend come and hold the phone camera to take a picture of her, and so I was there with my camera anyway. I was just there for the sign.
So you took this picture?
Yeah, so I took the picture.
Richard, you're always in the right place at the right time with you and your camera.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you're naturally descended from healers.
Yeah.
And spiritual healers, and you came across this and you feel good about it.
Oh, I feel great about it. This is an answer. Clean up light zeolite does it. What it does, it gets in. If you take it internally, it'll get into your body, and then it's a mineral that has a negative charge to it, which is very unusual for minerals.
Yeah.
And so it naturally attracts things that have a positive charge,
I see.
especially if a high positive charge.
Mm-hmm.
And the clinoptilolite, it has a molecule with tiny little crevices, holes in it, that can attract very, very small, minute particles of heavy metals and toxins,
Heavy
lead,
metals, yeah.
and mercury, cadmium, and stuff. It even will attach to volatile organic compounds,
Mm-hmm.
VOCs.
All of us probably have heavy metals from lead.
Oh yeah.
The paint when we were kids, there's lead in it, and then mercury's in our fish and our tuna and everything.
Yeah.
We're like consuming heavy metals. They just stay in your body until you find a way to get rid of them.
Yeah, mercury and other heavy metals like that, they're just so hard for your body to get out. They attach to parts of your cells, and they just stay there, and they prevent the cells from doing what it wants to do.
Mm.
So the clinoptilolite, well, actually, this particular version of it's been gone through some processes where it's micronized, so it's 1 micron and smaller. And plus, this Rick Deitch, he also does what's called activated it, where he puts it through so many different processes that removes the natural toxins that it might accumulate over centuries or longer, or even in current times. So it gets perfectly clean and hungry. It's ready to grab onto something that your body doesn't want,
Wow. Now, I have your website there. It's Avini Health?
AviniHealth.com.
/ Richard Iyall.
Yeah.
And they get to your website. They can read more about it.
Oh, yeah.
Order it, maybe?
Yeah, they can. People can go to that website. They can look into all kinds of different things, find all kinds of information.
It's my understanding that now we eat so much food that's processed that we're not getting what used to naturally be part of the food coming out of the soil and things like that, and that we don't know. Some people know, are beginning to understand that you need certain supplements that we wouldn't know about otherwise.
Right. Yeah. Well, what the industry had done to the foods and so much of nature and the environment, it just overuses things and doesn't put things back, and
Right.
we
deplete the soil.
Yeah, deplete
and all
the soil,
nutrients in the soil.
and then take what may start out with good whole foods, and take some of that good stuff out because it might break down sooner.
Yep.
So I can produce something that it's going to have more of a shelf life,
Mm.
and it goes in you, and it's not as healthy as, say, white bread isn't as healthy
Right.
as whole food,
Right.
whole wheat.
Right. We just keep eating it too, don't we?
Yeah. So we're facing a whole lot of challenges, health challenges these days. But if you get something like this, and there's no place else you can get this, they have a trademark name for it now, Detoxolite.
Detoxolite.
So if you get this and you just take some, however you want to take it, it's so safe, you're never going to overdose on it. It's not going to cause any side effects that are bad except some hydration maybe. And that's it. No, you don't need a doctor's signature. You don't need to go to the medical field for anything for it. It's just going to get in there and do its job.
Now, do some people put it in water or coffee, or do most just take it
Yeah,
straight?
yeah. In fact, Rick Deitch talks about how there have been studies done where he had a number of participants that would be told, if you're going to participate, you take so much of this, and you just do it regularly. However you do it, it's up to you. Just take it regularly every day. And one guy, he'd put it in his vodka. And no matter how they did it, or sprinkle it on food, mix it in a drink, it'd get in there and it'd do its job.
That's good. That's great.
I mean, it's a mineral, so, you're not going to kill a mineral.
Right, you can't kill. So for our viewers, go to spell out the website there, because, Richard.
Okay. It's Avini Health, HEALTH.com / Richard Iyall, RICHARDIYALL.
So I'm just making it harder than it is. It's Avini, AVINI.
Oh,
right?
Yeah,
Avini Health, Avini Health
yeah,
/ Richard Iyall.
Yeah.
www, of course,
yeah,
all that stuff.
yeah.
Richard, we're way past time. I could talk about this all day. But anything else you want our viewers to know?
I want to thank the Yokich people for letting us be here on this land so we can have some kind of a life and try to help bring this earth around so that we can do more to get the whole earth and all the people on it, all the living inhabitants to be more in harmony with life.
It's Yokich land.
Yokich, yeah.
Richard Iyall is
you.
our guest. He'll be back in a month or so with more pictures or poetry or always something interesting with Richard. We'll be back with more. We'll leave that Avini, so you can remember Avini,
Yeah.
AviniHealth.com.
Yeah.
Go / Richard Iyall. That's most important. We'll be back with more right after this.